There are moments captured on camera that feel almost too tender for the public eye, quiet instances where the boundary between acting and real emotion blurs until you can no longer tell where the script ends and true feeling begins. When Bai Lu and Zhou Yiran stepped onto the set of Invisible Lovers, nobody quite anticipated the palpable, almost magnetic charge that would fill the air between them. From the very first table read, where their voices echoed soft dialogues across a room filled with quiet crew members, an unspoken understanding hung in the air. The story they were brought together to tell is one of phantom touch, unseen presence, and a devotion that transcends the visible world, but as the behind-the-scenes footage reveals, the most captivating story was actually unfolding between the takes. Every gaze lingering just a second too long, every quiet laugh shared behind a paper script, and every subtle adjustment of a coat sleeve carried a weight that went far beyond what was written on the page. Viewers who tuned in expecting simple production clips were instead drawn into an intimate, breathtaking glimpse of two artists completely surrendering themselves to a shared emotional atmosphere. As the cameras began to roll for the intense, highly charged scenes, the contrast between the high-pressure environment of a major drama set and the quiet island of stillness Bai Lu and Zhou Yiran created together became impossible to ignore. Between heavy camera rigs, shouting directors, and bustling crew members adjusting lighting filters, the two lead actors remained tethered to one another by an invisible thread. You can see it in the way Zhou Yiran instinctively leans in when Bai Lu speaks, his focus so absolute that the rest of the chaotic set simply fades into background blur. Bai Lu, known for her vibrant energy and brilliant emotional range, brings a fragile, luminous warmth to this pairing that seems to gently unravel Zhou Yiran's usually calm and composed demeanor. When they rehearse a sequence involving a gentle, almost hesitant touch, the silence on set is absolute. The director does not even need to yell action before the air grows dense with anticipation, making anyone watching realize that this chemistry is not something that can be manufactured by a scriptwriter or conjured through clever editing trickery. In one particularly unforgettable behind-the-scenes moment, the weather turned harsh and cold, wrapping the outdoor filming location in a dreary, frost-bitten mist that made every breath visible in the freezing air. While technicians rushed to wrap equipment in protective plastic, Bai Lu stood shivered under a thin jacket, holding herself against the biting wind. Without a moment of hesitation, before any staff member could react, Zhou Yiran stepped closer, pulling a warm blanket around her shoulders with a quiet, practiced tenderness that felt far too natural to be rehearsed. The look they exchanged in that fleeting fragment of time was not for the cameras, nor was it meant for an audience. It was a simple, profoundly human exchange of care that caught the entire crew by surprise. It is precisely these small, unscripted fragments of reality that make the behind-the-scenes footage of Invisible Lovers feel like a hidden gem, allowing the audience to witness an emotional narrative that runs parallel to the show itself, full of unspoken care and genuine warmth. What makes this pairing so uniquely mesmerizing to watch is the profound emotional trust they have built over the course of the production. Acting out a love story that relies heavily on invisible bounds and unseen yearning requires a depth of vulnerability that many actors struggle to reach, yet Bai Lu and Zhou Yiran navigate this delicate territory with breathtaking ease. During one of the most demanding dramatic takes, where emotional breakdown and heavy tears were required, the camera caught the moment immediately after the director called cut. Instead of breaking character or walking away to their separate trailers, they remained close, Zhou Yiran gently placing a hand on Bai Lu's back, waiting patiently as she caught her breath and pulled herself back from the edge of that heavy emotional void. That subtle gesture of grounding one another speaks volumes about the respect and deep connection they share, revealing that the dynamic is built on a foundation of total empathy and mutual artistic protection. As the days of filming blurred into nights, the energy on set shifted from the excitement of a new project into a deeply rooted, shared rhythm that felt almost poetic. In the candid breaks between lighting setups, the two could often be seen huddled together over a single monitor, watching playback with serious, dedicated eyes, only to burst into sudden, synchronous laughter over a tiny misstep or a silly facial expression. The joy is as infectious as their dramatic tension is overwhelming, creating a hypnotic cycle that keeps anyone watching completely spellbound. You find yourself hanging on to every shared glance, searching for the subtle clues of how two people can become so completely attuned to each other's emotional wavelengths. It is a rare phenomenon in the world of television production, where two performers do not merely act together, but somehow create a third, living entity out of the combined presence, an atmospheric pull that feels entirely real and impossible to fake. By the time the production wrapped its final emotional sequence, the atmosphere on set was thick with a bittersweet realization that this specific, beautiful chapter was coming to an end. The behind-the-scenes camera captured the final wrap gifts, the tearful hugs with the director, and the solemn moment by Liu and Zhou. Yiran stood side by side, looking out over the set that had been the shared world for months. The subtle shift in their body language, the lingering touch of a final goodbye hug, and the soft, expressive smiles they gave each other signaled the closing of a magical window. Yet, through this candid footage, that electric, invisible connection remains frozen in time, preserved for anyone who wants to believe that true art comes from genuine human warmth. Long after the lights have dimmed and the screens have gone dark, the lingering echo of the shared laughter and silent understanding continues to resonate, leaving an unforgettable mark on the hearts of everyone who witnessed their story unfold.